Ever wondered if a mid-range smartphone can deliver the knockout punch of a flagship? Well, the Realme GT Neo6 might be the heavyweight champion in the lightweight category. Packed with top-tier features but without that hefty price tag, this phone is turning heads and redefining what we expect from the mid-range market. Released shortly after its predecessor, the GT Neo6 SE, this model ups the ante with some serious upgrades in performance and design. Stick around because you're about to find out why the GT Neo6 is the phone everyone's talking about this year. Moving from the buzz of its release, the Realme GT Neo6 doesn't just talk the talk, it walks the walk, especially when it comes to its design. With choices like purple, silver, and cool green, there's a style for everyone. Each has a unique vibe and a smooth finish that feels premium. Now, let's talk build. This phone feels solid in your hand, not too heavy or too light, just right. At 191 grams, it's got a heft that assures you it's made of sturdy stuff but won't weigh down your pocket. The design follows a modern trend with a curved screen, which looks sleek and makes swiping and scrolling super comfy. The back of the phone uses what they call a nano mirror process. Sounds high-tech, right? It's basically a fancy way of saying the back cover has a shiny, reflective look that catches light beautifully, while also hiding those pesky fingerprints better than most. But it's not all about looks. The GT Neo6 is practical too. It's got dual speakers that pack a punch for your tunes and videos, and there's an IR blaster for controlling your TV, or AC, which is super handy. Plus, with IP65 certification, a little splash or dust isn't going to bother this phone. Now we're diving into the Realme GT Neo6's display, and let me tell you, it's pretty impressive. So this phone rocks a 6.78-inch AMOLED screen that's not just big, it's bright too. And when I say bright, I mean it peaks at 1600 nits. That's like staring at a mini sun, making everything super clear even if you're out in broad daylight. Also, it boasts a resolution of 1264 x 2780 pixels, you can say 1.5K resolution. That translates to a crisp 150 ppi density. What does that mean for us? Super sharp images and text that make everything look incredibly detailed. Now, the screen isn't just about size and brightness. It's got this fancy 120Hz refresh rate, which means everything feels buttery smooth. And gamers, you're gonna love this because it supports a dynamic refresh rate from 0.5 to 120Hz, thanks to its LTPO tech, which is a fancy way of saying it saves battery while giving you the best view. But here's the kicker, the eye protection features. This thing is packed with tech to keep your eyes comfy. It's got AI that adjusts the color temperature based on your environment, and a low blue light feature that's easier on your eyes during those late-night Netflix marathons. Regarding streaming YouTube or Netflix, the HDR10 Plus support makes a noticeable difference. The colors pop, and the dark scenes in movies are detailed and clear. If you're into watching high-definition content, you're in for a treat. Moving on to sound. Realme didn't skimp here either. The GT Neo6 packs a stereo speaker setup that's pretty robust for a phone. Regarding performance, the Realme GT Neo6 isn't just playing in the minor leagues. It's swinging for the fences, competing with some of the heavy hitters in the smartphone game. At the heart of its powerhouse capabilities is the third-generation Snapdragon 8 chip. Now, you might wonder what's the big deal? Well, this chip is like the engine of a sports car but packed into your phone, delivering top-notch speeds and smooth multitasking that's a breeze. This phone comes with some pretty sweet options. You can snag it with 12 GB or go all out with 16 GB of RAM. Storage starts at 256 GB. If you need more, you can step up to 512 GB. But here's the kicker. There's even a massive 1 TB version. Yeah, you heard that right. A terabyte in your pocket, which is nuts. Let's throw some numbers out there to get a real sense of what this phone can do. Starting with the Antutu benchmark, the GT Neo6 scores 1.55 million points. This score isn't just a number, it reflects the phone's ability to handle everything from daily tasks to more demanding applications like high-end gaming and intensive multitasking without breaking a sweat. This high score suggests that the GT Neo6 can handle modern mobile games requiring detailed visual rendering, from the lighting effects in a game like Call of Duty to the expansive environments in Genshin Impact. Speaking of Genshin Impact, the GT Neo6 manages to run this notoriously demanding game at a smooth 59.5 frames per second, even at the highest settings. This remarkable performance ensures a visually stunning gaming experience and maintains fluid gameplay without noticeable lags or stutters. The game's intense graphics test a device's capabilities, and the GT Neo6 easily handles it. Additionally, the phone's sophisticated cooling system is crucial to its performance. Even during extended gaming sessions where many phones start to heat up, the GT Neo6 keeps it cool, literally. Its maximum temperature is about 43.5 degrees, which is warm but still comfortable to hold. This effective heat management is thanks to its large vapor chamber and multi-dimensional cooling technology, which helps dissipate heat across a larger area, preventing any performance throttling due to overheating. Another aspect where the GT Neo6 excels is its responsiveness. With a 2500 Hz touch sampling rate, the device responds to touches almost instantaneously. This feature is a significant advantage in games that depend on quick reflexes. Alright, now it's time for the Realme GT Neo6's camera capabilities, and I'm going to break it down in a way that feels more like a chat than a tech lecture. If you're eyeing this phone, you probably want to know if it can really snap those eye-catching pics you crave, right? Well, you're in luck because the GT Neo6 brings some pretty solid camera tech to the table without breaking the bank. First up, the main shooter. This camera is the heavy lifter of the setup. It's a 50-megapixel beast using Sony's LYT600 sensor. Now this means that when you take a photo, you get a lot of information packed into each shot. The sensor excels in rendering colors that are both vibrant and true to life. This is particularly noticeable in well-lit conditions where the sensor can show off its ability to accurately balance color vibrancy. What you get are photos that pop without looking oversaturated or unnatural. Dynamic range refers to the camera's ability to handle scenes with mixed lighting, for example, dark shadows and bright highlights in the same scene. The GT Neo6 manages this quite well, capturing details in an image's darker and brighter parts. This is especially handy in outdoor environments where sunlight and shade can vary dramatically across a scene. Smartphone low-light photography is often challenging, but the Neo6 performs well in this area thanks to its main sensor's large pixel size and the intelligent software algorithms that back it. In auto mode, the camera does a commendable job by increasing ISO sensitivity and using slower shutter speeds to capture more light, all while keeping noise to a minimum. The dedicated night mode takes this a step further by taking multiple shots at different exposures and stitching them together for a brighter and more detailed photo than what you typically get in such lighting conditions. This mode is particularly effective in cityscapes at night or in dimly lit indoor settings, allowing you to capture clear and usable photos with less grain and better color accuracy. The cool part? It supports optical image stabilization, so if you have shaky hands or snap pictures while moving around, the OIS keeps things nice and crisp instead of blurry. Next, let's discuss the ultra-wide-angle camera. This one's an 8-megapixel camera, which might not sound as fancy as the main sensor, but it's your go-to when you need to squeeze more into your frame. For video buffs, the GT Neo6 doesn't skimp. It can shoot up to 4K video. Jumping right into the heart of the Realme GT Neo6, it runs on Realme UI, like a cherry on top of the already sweet Android cake. The interface is super clean and straightforward, making navigating easy. The animations are smooth, and there's a pleasant fluidity that makes using the phone feel more intuitive. If you love making your phone uniquely yours, Realme UI won't disappoint. You can tweak just about everything from icon shapes to the color scheme. The phone packs some serious AI functions. No software is perfect, and Realme UI has its quirks. Some users might find the additional features a bit overwhelming, and there are a few bloatware apps pre-installed that you might not need. But the good news? You can uninstall or disable most of them, so it's not a deal breaker. The Realme GT Neo6's battery life is like having a tiny power plant right in your pocket. This phone packs a beefy 5500 mAh battery, which means you can go all day and then some. But the real kicker? The charging speed. Realme has thrown in a 120W ultra-fast charger that's all about making your life easier. Imagine this. You wake up, realize your phone is nearly dead, plug it in while you brush your teeth, and bam, it's halfway charged before you can even finish your breakfast. Realme claims it gets from 0 to 50% in just about 10 minutes and full juice in under half an hour. Alright, let's talk money, and what you're really getting with the Realme GT Neo6. This phone starts at just $290. For that kind of dough, you're stepping into the big leagues of performance without burning a hole in your wallet. It's like snagging a high-end gaming rig at a mid-range price. Pretty sweet, right? The Realme GT Neo6 packs a serious punch with the Snapdragon 8's Gen 3 chip, which is like getting near flagship power for less. That's a lot of bang for your buck. Plus, it's not just about the raw speed. Thanks to that 120Hz refresh rate, you get a stunning 1.5K display that's sharp, vibrant, and smooth. And the cherry on top? This bad boy charges super fast with its 120W setup, meaning you can juice up to 50% in just about 10 minutes. You're out the door quicker and tethered to a charger less. That's a win-win in my book. Now, if you're always worried about your phone dying on you midday, fret not. The GT Neo6 comes with a beefy 5500 mAh battery.